Welcome back to the lecture series of function of complex variable. So in the previous class I have already discussed what is the limit of a complex valued function and what is the continuity and what are the different properties of complex valued function in terms of limits and continuity, and I have solved some examples also, and I have given some problems for you to solve. So in this lecture I am going to discuss another important property of a complex valued function, that is nothing but the differentiability. So already you have studied how to do the differentiation for the function of one real variable, function of two real variable in the previous semester. So here we will incorporate the same kind of definition for the function of complex variable also. So what do you mean by the differentiability of a complex valued function? So let's say we are considering fz be a single valued function of z in the domain, because if it is not a single valued function, so it might not be differentiable. So we'll deal with the single valued function. So fz is our single valued function of z in a particular domain D. Then fz is said to be differentiable at a point z0 if you know the definition. If limit del z tends to 0, so we are taking a small increment of fz. Then this will be fz0 plus del z minus fz. The difference will be this. So this is divided by the increment in the independent variable. So what we are taking actually? So you know that the increment in the dependent variable by increment in the independent variable, whenever increment in the independent variable tends to 0, and if this limiting value of the quotient exists, then only we can say that the function fz will be differentiable, and since it is differentiable at the point z0, so it is often denoted by f dash z0. So what is the geometrical significance of the differentiability in the complex valued function? So we know that whenever we are defining a complex valued function, so it is mapping some complex variable z into some complex variable w. That means we know that we can represent a complex variable or complex value in a two-dimensional eigenplane. So the independent variable z will be represented in the z plane, that means two-dimensional z plane, whose real axis is x and imaginary axis is y. Similarly, its image w, we can represent the image of z, that is w, in the uv plane. That means the u is the real part of the w, that means the image value of z, and v is the imaginary part of the image value w corresponding to the value z. So you know the triangular of a vector. So I have told that you can represent a complex value as the point vector. So what is the z0? So the Poisson vector of z0 is say p. So we are taking a small increment in the direction of z0, that is z0 plus del z, so that is q. So what is del z? So del z actually is the increment of z0 to z0 plus del z. So we can represent z0 plus del z, that is z0 plus del z. So that means in that way I can represent the increment of the independent variable in the z plane. Similarly, so this z0 is mapped to w0, so that is fz0, that is w0, that is p dash vector, and q is mapped to q dash vector. So actually if this is z0, so the corresponding image in the w plane will be w0, then corresponding increment in the w plane will be del w. Del w is nothing but f of z0 plus del z plus minus f of del z0, the increment. So we are taking the value w0, we are taking the increment. So since we know that the complex variable can be represented as a point vector in the eigenplane, so its resultant vector will be w0 plus del w, that means f of z0 plus del z. So the ratio of this increment in the dependent variable by the independent variable, the limiting value, whenever this del z tends to 0, that means this p is gradually tending towards q, that means del z tends to 0, then actually the limiting value, that means this will be converging to this, so that is actually will be the tangent at the point. So p dash will be gradually moving towards q dash whenever p will be gradually moving to q. So this limiting value of the ratio is denoted as f dash z0. I think it is clear from the geometrical significance, because you know that for a function of one variable, the derivative corresponding to a particular point in a curve actually represents the slope of the tangent. Similarly here also in this direction we can find the slope corresponding to the point z0 in the surface fz, because you know that in the three-dimensional figure fz represents the surface. Now what are the different properties? So like limits and continuity, so the differentiability of the complex valued function will satisfy some properties also. So we are assuming that fz and gz are differentiable. This will not be continuous, this will be differentiable at the point z0. then the following functions will also be differentiable at the point z0. That means we know that d of dz fz plus minus gz will be d fz dz plus d gz dz. So that means if I take the addition or subtraction of two functions and do the differentiation, that will be same as if we differentiate those functions first and add together or subtract together. Then there comes a multiplication rule. So this rule is same as we have studied earlier for the function of real variable. So d dz of fz into gz will be gz, and the differentiable of fz with respect to z plus fz will be fixed. The differentiation of gz with respect to z. Then there comes the quotient rule. So what is the quotient rule? So the rule is same as you have studied earlier. D dz of fz by gz. This will be gz whole square into gz will be fixed. The differentiation of the numerator function minus fz will be fixed. The differentiation of the function that is there in the denominator. So this differentiation of the quotient will be defined whenever gz is not equals to 0. Because if gz equals to 0, so gz whole square will be 0. So this will not be defined. Then I am going to discuss one example where we are checking the differentiability. So if a function is differentiable, and then if we want to show the differentiability of the function, then we need to use this property. So if the limiting value of this quotient exists, then only we can say that the function is differentiable at that point z0. Otherwise, it will not be differentiable. So we are going to show that. So what is the definition? By definition, f dash z will be limit del z tends to 0 f of z plus del z minus fz by del z. If it exists, then only I will say that the function z bar will be differentiable at the point at the point 0. Sorry, at a point. So we need to take the differentiability of fz equals to z bar at any arbitrary point. No particular point is given to us. That's why we are trying to find out the derivative of fz at any arbitrary point z. So what will be f z plus del z? So we know that fz equals to z bar. So f z plus del z will be z plus del z bar. So z plus del z bar minus z bar by del z. So we know that x is z is x plus iy. So del z will be del x plus I del y. So since del z tends to 0, so del z can be represented in the form of the order pair del x del y. So limit del x del y tends to 0 0. This is x plus iy plus del x plus I del y, because we know that z equals to x plus iy and del z equals to this, minus z bar means x plus iy bar by this. So you know that if z equals to x plus iy, then z bar will be x minus iy. So this bar will be this bar plus this bar, so this minus this y plus del x minus I del y minus x minus iy. So if we do the simplification, then we will find that del x minus I del y by del x plus I del y. So we need to verify whether this limit exists or not. So if we approach to the point 0 0 through the path del y tends to del y equals to 0. What do you mean by del y equals to 0? Del y equals to 0 means we are actually moving through the x direction. Del y tends to 0 means x axis. If we are moving towards x axis, then y will be constant, del y will be 0, because through x axis the value of y is 0. So that means the limiting value will depend only on the value of x. So del x tends to 0. So if del y is 0, so this will be del x by del x. So the limiting value will be 1. Now if we consider the path del x equals to 0 to approach to the point 0 0, then del x equals to 0 means the y axis. So in y axis del x equals to 0, that means the value of y will be only varying. So that means limit del y tends to 0 and del x is 0. So this will be minus I del y by I del y. So this will be minus 1. So we know that for a function of more than one variable, if the limiting value exists, then limiting value should be independent of any path. But here we are taking two different paths. One is del y equals to 0, one is del x equals to 0. So if we take two different paths, we are getting that the limiting values are different. So the limiting value is not unique here, or it is not independent of the path. So in that case, that's why the limit doesn't exist. Since the limit of the quotient doesn't exist, so that's why we can say that the function fz will not be differentiable at any complex value z, because we have found here the differentiability, or we have checked here the differentiability of fz at any arbitrary point z. So for any arbitrary point, the limiting values of this quotient are not same or are not unique. So that's why we can say that the function will not be differentiable. So I've given some problems for you to solve. So if fz is this, so you need to find out dw dz, so you can use here the quotient rule. Now you need to show that f z equals to mod z whole square is differentiable only at the point z equals to 0. So only at the point z equals to 0 means just you need to use the definition. And by using the definition, you need to show that the function will not be differentiable at any other points apart from z equals to 0. First you need to show that. Then you need to show that it will be differentiable if we take the value of z as 0 only. So only differentiable means you need to do two parts. So first you need to show that apart from z equals to 0, it is not differentiable at any other arbitrary point. And whenever we are considering z equals to 0, the function is differentiable. So here you need to use the definition. And here since you need to find out dw dz, so already it is given that, or already it is provided that the function will be differentiable. So just you need to use the quotient rule. So in this lecture, I have actually discussed what is the differentiability of a complex valued function, what are the geometrical significance of the differentiability of a complex valued function, what are the different properties of the differentiability of a function, as well as I have solved one problem and I have given some problems for you to solve. So thank you all for watching this lecture. So in the next class, next lecture, I will be discussing actually one important property in the complex valued function. This term is called as an analytic function. So that is a special type of differentiability of a complex valued function. So till then, stay tuned. So thank you all for watching this lecture.